other computer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I know the steps on how to do it, so I can just get it off, and I don't have to like. Also, in my Google, I got way too much stuff. It's saying, the pictures and stuff, but I don't want to get rid of them because they're my Mexico pictures and stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, let's definitely check that out. Yeah, today afterwards, I'm working with Maria. We're gonna get her set up with like
Yeah,
MetaMask and stuff
not
like that.
today. Either tomorrow or Friday is okay
Yeah. Okay.
because
Good
today
stuff.
I'm busy. But yeah,
All right.
tomorrow or Friday would be better. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Perfect. Yeah. No problem. No problem. Check one, two.
I hear you. I
Oh,
hear you.
my audio just changed here. Hang on a second. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Okay. These headphones just turned off on their own.
Yeah, same here. I have pairs of headphones and none of them are working.
Weird.
Yeah, and why are we double?
You know what? Hang on. Super strange. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Right.
gonna have to just change some settings here so that I can do this without the echo and stuff. Regrettably, these, yeah, I don't know. They are a little bit old, so I know that they were. It was saying that they were low on battery, but figured plug it in should be fine. But okay, here we go.
Same here.
Let's get the show on the road. Okay. So today we're just going to go over a few of the fiat markets here, and then, and now I got a weird little line showing up there. Okay. We're going to go over a few of the fiat market stuff, and then we're going to move into some new assets that I've been watching over the last little while. And yesterday I spent an absorbent amount of time researching some new ones as well, ones that I've never seen before. And so I've got them all set up in tabs here. We're going to go through them one by one and just talk about what they are and where their prices are and so on and so forth. First off, we've got the silver and gold. Silver is still down. It's not, and it's not showing any signs of going up. For us to see whether or not, for us to know that the price is still going up, we would actually have to go and beat this high here. This high is likely not to be even challenged over the next little while, simply because Trump's in charge and everybody's excited. So the gold, same idea. We would need this. We like this high here was nice, right? Nice big movement coming back up from that retracement, but it's not higher than this one right there. We would need to be higher than this in order for us to know that we're actually continuing to go up. US 30, a little bit of a pullback from the all-time high, just hanging out though. TSX already formed a new high today. Not much, but crawling forward. Crypto 30s are maintaining their upward trend. Just that retracement right here, that's all that was necessary for it to continue. And I think, yeah, I'll grab Bitcoin and Ethereum here as well. So we can see Bitcoin is actually got a couple of days of downturn. So this is indicative of the money going into into the altcoins. And it's also important to note that speaking of altcoins, Cardano creating some more highs for 2024, but is definitely at the same time starting to show a less volume coming in. And I think it's because, again, we've got people coming in with these altcoins and they are moving their money out and going into other things. And some of those we're going to be talking about today. In fact, on Cardano, I'm going to go ahead and grab this. This is the Hosky token. This is a meme coin that is specifically for the Cardano community. It's just a meme of Charles Hoskinson, is what it is. But of course, because his name is Hoskinson, they called it Hosky, which sounds like husky, and they made a dog meme out of it. Now, why do I bring it up? Well, if we go back to the all-time chart, here we go. You can see that it opened all the way back here in 2022. That open price right there is 7 zeros and then a 7. So it was like that pretty much this whole time. And then, of course, after the election, it's gone up. Well, how much? Well, we're going to need this charting software to do that. So we go Hosky. It's on the MEX platform. So what is this growth? I mean, really, how bad can it be? There are still 6 zeros here and then a 3. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there are still 6 zeros and a 3 to the price. But if you go from this place up to there, that's a 3,300% growth in the last 3 weeks. No, month, basically, month. 3,300%. Now, this is on Cardano. Cardano's not even, I don't even think it's in the top 10 on CoinMarketCap. Yeah, it's not even in the top 10. Where is it in the big scheme of things? Look at that. It's not even, it must be higher than this. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it's in the top. It's number 8. So this here, this meme blew up 33x in the last month. Now, what does that mean? It means that it's time for me to do some more homework on memes, because that's nice, quick injection. You know, Audrey, when we first got started with this, you know, we were trying to snipe out some of the AI projects and gaming projects that are going to profit the fastest. We were focused on the wrong thing. Now, I'm not saying we made a mistake. We definitely positioned very, very well for the bubble. But memes are doing 33x in a month. I'm definitely going to be researching more about how to identify good memes versus bad ones so that we can start throwing a little bit of money at that. You know, even if it's $100 at a time, it's good to test. And then if you win some tests, then you can just continue that pattern with larger sums. But wouldn't that be something? Take $100 and turn that into 3,000. That's pretty good. But that's not why I wanted to talk today. Let's talk about some of these other coins. We've got, we've got some good variety. Injective token, which is an infrastructure coin for transactions to occur cross-platform. We got 3 Protocol. 3 Protocol is that the prepaid Visa card that you can put cryptos on and spend cryptos right on that Visa card. WooCommerce, I keep on calling it that. Woo, having a breakout, in fact. So we're definitely doing well here with an average price. Yeah, my average price was 16, so I'm almost at 100% growth already. We've got desync for storage and decentralized AI computing power. Not necessarily the AI itself, but the tools that AI needs to be able to provide its outputs. We've got gaming coins like with PAL and FAR and Super. all doing very well right now. But what we haven't really covered are some of the smaller cap coins. So smaller cap just means that there's less money in them, but that doesn't take away from how good of an opportunity it is. So this one here is Carrot. Carrot is, again, another AI infrastructure. And so this is the full-time chart right now, all time. Let me just double check. Yes, all time. So shorter project, not a big pump and dump yet. There's not been really any of that. There's been this high that was here in June of 2024. This was just because it was shortly after it started. I mean, it only just started at the beginning of or middle of April. And so this project having this peak here and this downtime through the rest of the year, to have all of this available, like again, this is a little riskier than some of the other ones we've talked about because it's not fully dilated. So we've got 654 fully diluted volume. Just means that if all of this, if everything in this ecosystem was in circulation, that's how much would be left. That's how much would be, because the amount of money invested is only 102 million. That gives it a higher risk profile. Doesn't make it bad, just means it's higher risk. This will bubble, but on the other side of the bubble, unless these numbers are closer to each other, then it will likely crash on the other side. So this is the type of asset that you don't have great expectations for. I mean, you can have great expectations for it, but don't rely on this. This is something that you would test with, a smaller amount that can provide you with some great returns, because this project here has the potential. If you ever want to learn about the project, you simply click on the website and it'll start showing you, what the coin is about, what it's all, and what it's supposed to be doing, what their intention is with it. Now, for myself, I can't stand this type of marketing, but we have to recognize that their target market is going to be a little bit different. So here, this is where you can connect your wallet and so on and so forth. What I want is, docs. So here's where you actually learn about what this ecosystem is about. This one here is gaming, entertainment, and AI. And basically it's another ecosystem where what they're focusing on is the privacy of our data. When we are generating content, when we are accessing content, all of that's, we want to know that our data is secure, that our privacy is there. And so that's an ecosystem for that. Good price right now, 64 cents. Obviously, sometimes you can have big market caps at low dollar valuations. So, the price itself doesn't necessarily reflect the opportunity. But what I like about it is that it's pretty much down the middle of the road, right? We've had some highs and we've had some lows. And right now it's sitting at the middle. So that's a good position to get to come in on a smaller cap project that can provide some great returns. SWE, this one here is not so much of a smaller project. However, it does have, and we can see that it's actually quite high at the moment, which is a good sign, because the growth occurred before the election. See this? Like, it came from all the way here. Without the election, it did all of that, okay? So it was at 50 cents right there, and it went up to $2, $2.34 without the election. So that's a good foundation that it has. This one here is a larger one. In fact, I think, if I remember correctly, SWE is on some of the larger, or some of the exchanges that we have. Index, I know that it's on KuCoin. Let's go ahead and get this one here. This one is another one, VANR, or the ticker is called VANRY, VANRY. This one is another project. This one is, what's the white paper? if I remember correctly, this one is also, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. This is a building platform. So this is where developers will go, and they will use these tools, these developer tools, to launch their project, basically. So yeah, and so this infrastructure here, this is going to be providing infrastructure for developers in their creation specifically on Ethereum. Flat fee, lightning fast chain made for mainstream mass adoption. Yeah, okay. So I disagree with that statement simply because Ethereum is not meant for mass adoption, but it is definitely a good platform for developers to work together. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. Yeah, and of course, look at the price. Like with a high of $1.13, sitting now at 15 cents. That is a nice growth. Very nice growth. What's also good, we can see here that the market cap is at 263 million and the fully dilated volume is 368. So while there is still more saturation that would be nice to see for a stable side of the bubble, this has still got a better position than, say, Carrot, which is 6 times under diluted, right? So Vannerchain is got a better position from a stability standpoint while the bubble is going up. And of course, with that kind of reach between 15 cents and $1, that's tough to beat. You're looking at, what's that, 7x? Pretty good. Next, let's go into, okay, that's the Hosky token. So that I want to definitely get it. I want to start learning more about the memes. I'm going to be playing with memes. I'm not going to be swinging for the fences with memes. My big long play is AI gaming, and then after that, this next bubble here, my next one that I'm going to be reinvesting in are real world assets, because it's going to be in that side of things where we're going to be able to help our farmers, local merchants, small business owners turn their products and services into real world assets that stay within their own trust. That way, the BlackRocks and the Vanguards and all of those guys, because they're doing tokenization, they're tokenizing trees, for crying out loud. There's even talk about them tokenizing oxygen. So if that's the level of ownership that they want to have over top of our commodities and air, then we should probably start taking action on that, so that that limits how much they are taking from us. So so memes are going to be fun to play with. My game plan is to really focus on AI, gaming, and storage for those the infrastructure for those verticals, and move that into real world assets after the bubble. This one here, AGI, new one. This one I only just saw yesterday. It's got, so it's not very saturated. Still good opportunity though, especially when we take a look at that long term. As you can see, there's that middle line at 32 cents. The high is at 64. There's tons of room for this to grow. And given the fact that there is a large supply, 3 billion of these currencies, currently only 1 billion in circulation, that again, it gives the perception that there's lots of room for growth. And because it's not like this is the price is already quite high. If the price was already quite high in this situation, it would be pretty risky. But because we have the price down below the middle line, this is less risky, because the chances of it going up, especially during a bull run like what we are in, where things are booming, this will definitely follow suit. Next, we've got the Netmind token, NMT. This is where we get into some of the real world assets that are out there. So Netmind, this one here, we can see again, Not a lot of, like, it's not very saturated at all. But let's go to the all-time. You can see very low price. So another good opportunity. This is $4.20 right now with a high price of 16. That's an automatic 4x coming back up to that level. But you can see how well it's lasted even within the downturn of the rest of 2024. It didn't go anywhere. Like it dropped. The price dropped considerably, but everything did. And so now we're starting to see that life return, over. Yeah. And actually, it's interesting. Look at how even after the election, it wasn't really that much of a growth. So this one here that tells me that it's flying under the radar right now. And that's a good position to also be buying when things are under the radar. Looks like it's being listed, according to this here, on November 30th, this news here saying that NMT is being listed at Binance, of course, being a major exchange within the United States. That could be very encouraging for the price because it'll be available on that major exchange. So it'll garner more attention as time goes on. Clearpool, another real world asset. Look at this. 29 cents today with a high of $2.20. Look at this. The market cap is a lot more saturated. So we don't have so much, we're not so top heavy with that fully dilated volume. 290 million versus the 207 million cap. That means that it has the strength, it has the liquidity, and it has the confidence within the investors that it will likely return back to that high price at 220 from 30 cents. Another very good one. So that one could be, you could be 7xing that one, 7, even 8 possibly, going back to the all-time high. So that's Clearpool. Moving on, this is Chex Chintai. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but this one here, we can see this one is actually very much on its way out the door, going to the moon. You can see that this pullback here in September was down to 8 cents and is already now at 51 cents US. Great, awesome if we could have grabbed that in 2023. But that shows you the strength that that's here. This is definitely just getting started. It wouldn't be a bad buy. It would be definitely fun to ride, so to speak. But obviously, it's not. We don't know. It's at an all-time high right now. So who knows how high it's going to go?
Is this a meme or what is this?
This is another real-world asset. Yeah. So real-world assets. This is where we get into taking real-world assets. Art, for example, is a real-world asset. Gold, silver, real estate, and then, of course, contract. So contracts are the basis of trade, meaning that trade doesn't happen without a contract, whether it's implied or if it's, you can have a 20-page contract. Those contracts are real-world assets, meaning that they have real-world value. And so what these chains are doing is that they are providing different ways for people to take their, whether it's a business itself or if it's an asset within the business, having that asset written on chain so that they can track that in their ledger. So that's the big purpose behind RWA, or real world assets. ADA, all of ADA, every last coin that's in ADA is actually a real world asset protocol. So a lot of these here are building off of Ethereum and building off of XRP and building off of even Polkadot and Polygon. Nothing wrong with that. But those layer 1 coins are actually not built to be a real world asset protocol. So with ADA, the way that it is academically researched, in accordance with international trading laws and banking laws, that provides it with a stronger infrastructure for real world assets moving forward. That's why, for me, I'm more interested in like real world assets are going to do great. Everything's going to do great in this bubble. There's no question. But I'm focusing in on gaming and AI simply because there's going to be more hype there, and we'll be able to appreciate greater returns on these things. And then after that is when the real world assets, well, I believe the whole market will crash. Everyone's going to panic sell. It's going to drop probably 90% of its value, all cryptos, clear across the board. And that's when I'm going to come back in with my great big bags that I made from the AI bubble and start investing in real world assets. But it's still good to watch today because we get an idea of how it will respond to that market sentiment. And that gives us projections and patterns that we can go and identify later on. We can't really identify much with this, right? Because there's been not a lot of price action except for this year. So we don't have a history, we don't have a pattern. Real world assets this year, I believe we're going to see those patterns. And then moving forward, I'm going to be very bullish on those real world assets because I think that over the next couple of years, especially in nations like Canada and even in the States, although there's a lot of optimism right now, I can see that noose starting to tighten around around people who have assets, not necessarily cash, but business assets. That's what I see being on the chopping block here in the next 6 to 12 months or so. And I believe the real world asset ecosystem will save the day. That will make it possible for people to safeguard their property with greater immutability. I hope that clears up what this is. It's not a meme. It's all the coins are memes right now. If we really take a look at the essence of it, but definitely this company here, their purpose is to bring forward real world asset functionality. Art trade is exactly as it seems. This is a real world asset for artists, and we can see here we're actually coming up quite a bit over the last little while since the election, and right now above the average. But we can see, look at that, beautiful. Even though again, small market cap, not a whole lot in here, 76 million, which is still a lot of money, but from a crypto in comparison to other cryptos, this is a fairly small market cap. But because of their commitment to artists and because they have been doing it for a while, they started in 2022. This has provided a great infrastructure for a community to come together. And with this great big spike that happened here at the beginning of the year, coming back down, this was when they didn't have a whole lot of fully diluted volume. But now, over this period of time, that volume has increased and we're seeing a lot more saturation. In fact, right now, there's barely anything left. Right? So we're very, very saturated on this one and rising. And I think that this one, right now, it's only at 5.8 cents, right? With a top price of 8.5 cents. This one's just getting started. I would say this could easily be 50 cents by the end of this run, especially after the run and we see the correction coming back into this space. Just because of how clean their community is, I would expect this to do very well. And then the last one that I have picked for quick analysis here is Bricken. Again, I don't know a whole lot about it. It is again a real world asset. What they're wanting is they've got a really good system of being able to quickly write your assets to chain. A lot of the other projects, although they're great, they're still very much developer driven. So, for instance, if someone had a small oil field company and they got a few trucks and some equipment for coil tubing or something like that, they would need a developer to work with a lot of the other with a lot of the other programs that are out there, a lot of the other projects. Now, with something like this, it's a little bit more user friendly. People can get started a lot easier. And so this one here, I see it being more so for the small businesses, not the medium to large businesses. So therefore, it has that variety of use for it. Now it's a little bit up from its from these lows here. Obviously, we've been seeing some life come into it. Now the high price is $1.13, sitting at 50 cents right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it did come back up to that, but be mindful that only half of the liquidity is there. So if it does go up, the chances of there being a retracement like what we've seen in the past goes up. So this is the kind of thing you got to kind of watch a little bit more carefully than, say, something that's more saturated. All right. I think that's it. Everything else that I grabbed, if I remember correctly, yeah, this was Tron, and this was something else. Polkadot, yeah. So we don't have to go through those ones. And I do want to talk about Pcoin very quickly. This one here is actually a social media coin. I believe that over the next year, we're going to see incredible efforts and very, very strong, aggressive efforts by our governments to control more information. And it's going to come in several forms. I think one of them is going to be the cyber attack, false flag cyber attack that makes it necessary to lock down data. But initiatives like this are very encouraging. We need to get away from the big tech companies and their social media platforms. Now, I'm not against using them, go ahead, but we need to be mindful of the fact that we shouldn't be using them for purposes they are not intended to be used. And part of that is the whistleblowing. Part of that is telling the truth about what's going on, disclosure stuff. Us truth seekers, we love sharing those links all over social media and using memes to win arguments with our friends. I get it. But we need to recognize that those platforms, the creators of those platforms and those who have been placed, this is probably more accurate of a description, those who have been placed in positions to run those social media platforms have no interest whatsoever in the truth. And so they are going to be stifling the truth even more than what they have in the past. Pcoin is a cryptocurrency that is actually used within, I don't know, can I go to the site here? I'm not sure if this is how it works, because when I go to this, it usually tries to open up my other screen. Here, I'm going to go ahead and just share that instead. Application. Okay. Here we go. Oh, where's that window? Hello. Gesture. App. Where is the app? Bastion. Here we go. Share. Does that show up? Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So I've opened up Bastion here. Bastion is a social media platform that is built and backed on blockchain. And I'm starting to play around with it a little bit. I signed up for a while, but this is a free speech platform. Very, very much free speech. In fact, it's so free speech, it doesn't even really know what I like yet. Whereas most social medias, they can usually cross-reference me elsewhere. And so we actually have, it's interesting. It's interesting how much activity there is on this platform. And I anticipate we'll see more as time goes on, especially since The creators on Bastion actually get paid in P-Coin. Now, I've got a little bit here. I threw in some because I wanted to upgrade my account. But here's where we have the magic of real-world assets in effect. Because although this is, P-Coin is a cryptocurrency for social media, what's fascinating about it is that you can earn P-Coin off your content. So, for instance, if you're posting things on Bastion and the ad revenue that is generated by people who are looking at your content, so your content might not be the ad, but they may see an ad next to your content. If they interact with that, you get a portion of that ad revenue back paid to you in P-Coin. Now you can speed this up. You can do a lot more by staking more. So this is where, this is coming back to the real world asset aspect. This money here, I can take it out anytime I want. This isn't money that I've paid to Bastion. This isn't money that I've given them. This is money that I've staked. So what staking does is it allows me to have this asset within my wallet, but I am allowing Bastion to, they're not using it, but rather because I hold it there and staking within Bastion, Bastion uses those stake pool rewards, the money that's being generated by my money, to develop their program better, to improve upon their services. I know they want to start creating groups and have events, and they want to eventually go into live video, which, yeah, sure, we don't have that with, we have that with Facebook and X and all that. This doesn't have live, and that's okay. They are developing it. And so what this P-Coin does here is that it allows for me to help Bastion without giving them money. So I don't have to pay them, but they get the benefit of my P-Coin being staked here, because those stake pool rewards get reimbursed basically back to the users and to Bastion. So this is the form of real world assets that we're going to see going into the future. For example, one of the things that I've been really focusing on this year for my own work is creating a website where all of my content is actually secured behind a stake wall, meaning that the value that I provide for people and the education that I can impart is behind their stake. So they have to stake a certain amount to be able to unlock that content. So that is in effect how real world assets are being employed, or rather deployed. P-Coin is doing the same type of thing, simply saying that your social media account, that is yours. That's technically your property, especially when you're dealing with, especially if you're using it to build a business, right? If you're using it for marketing purposes, if you're using it for educational purposes, that's your content, that's your asset. A real world asset, because it can generate business for you as an asset. That business model is where we're headed, where you won't be paying for things the way that we think that paying occurs today. It's going to be where you're staking what it is that you would like to stake. So you're going to be holding this currency anyways because of the value that it holds in the long term. Why don't we have it working for you as well? So in this case here with P-Coin, people are able to start generating P-Coin both from Bastion, but then also from their subscribers. So people who are coming on to Bastion and following you, they may feel inclined to contribute to your work, and they will give you tips in P-Coin, and that will unlock more content for them to delve further into your ecosystem of your own business. So that's the model. That's why I wanted to bring up P-Coin, even though like P-Coin itself, I don't know what it's going to do. I mean, it's gone up. It's gone up over the last couple of months, no question. I can't remember. So right now it's showing that one P-Coin is 0.000006 Bitcoin, or 56 cents US. So and I know when I first got started, it was like 20 something, right? So, and that was months ago. So the opportunity is there for the growth. I don't know whether or not it's going to go crazy wild, but it's important to know how these work. And I believe that, what my intent is to actually show people how to use Bastion to build a business, so that, and this just becomes practice ground, basically. This is a great user-friendly way to get started. Yes, Audrey.
How do I find you on Bastion?
That's another good question. I'm still getting used to knowing how to use it. Let me go and find. I think you just, you just search my profile, which is Man Known as Paul. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Man Known as Paul, one word.
Can't find you. Oh, wait, there it is. There you are.
Perfect. Now I'll get a friend request. Amazing. Or does it work
Follow.
like that?
I know.
Follow.
Unfollow. Subscribe to turn on. Yep. Following. Well, look
Perfect.
at that. I just thought I'd, try it. What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Isn't Mike Adams the creator of Bastion?
Mike Adams, I think he's providing tech for it. I don't think he's the creator, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is an association.
He mentions the Bastion a lot.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. Market analysis, a little bit of a change up there. We're usually going through charts more, but that was a lot of fun. I like going through some of these new projects and seeing. I was talking about them. I mean, this is how it's done. I remember in 2017, 18, when I was doing retail trading with Forex, the amount of time that I actually spent taking trades was probably 1/10 of the time I spent at the computer. The other 9/10 were spent researching. And that's what it is. That's how you become knowledgeable on when those entry points and exit points are, is just by looking at more and more assets. So that was a lot of fun.
No, that was very informative. I enjoyed it actually a lot.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
At least to see how many coins are available or how many. Are. It's crazy.
Oh, it's wild. It literally is the Wild West out here. It really is. Yeah. Nobody has a clue what they're doing. Everybody is flying by the seat of their pants, using the business principles that we've come to know over the last hundreds of years. But there's a whole different mindset, because we don't have there's no corruption. That if there is corruption, it's just within one little ecosystem, right? That corruption doesn't affect every other coin out there, like what occurs with the US dollar, for example, right? So it's although we're bringing so much of our wisdom and knowledge of how to do business, and so in that respect, we know what we're doing. But most of the world really doesn't know what's going to happen with this, because this is uncharted territory. We are in the Wild West, literally pioneers of this fourth industrial revolution.
And you are a teacher.
I'm excited.
You are excited and I'm confused.
You'll get it.
Yeah. After this here, you and I will visit for a while. I'm just going to go grab myself some breakfast, and I'll come back up to the computer, say for 8:30.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, great. And then you and me, Maria, will get going, and then Audrey tomorrow. Okay.
Well, we're on tomorrow anyway, right?
On tomorrow anyway, but after market analysis, you and I can get your friend some help there.
Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Bye,
Cool.
guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later.
Have a great day. Okay. Do I disconnect or?
Yeah, I'll disconnect it. You can go, and I'll send you a link for us to connect.
Perfect. Okay.
Awesome.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Thanks.